Hello, y'all. Welcome back. The 90-day no talk experiment. Today you get a 2-in-1. I'm going live now at 5, and then I'm going live again at 9. Okay, I'm a little bit late, y'all. Got on here. The devil is so busy. Got on here to get ready to get my live started. Okay, now Instagram is acting real strange. Let me see, where did Instagram go? Oh goodness. Okay. Gonna have to do it again. Sorry, y'all, on Instagram. Hey, everybody on Facebook and YouTube and all the places. I gotta get Instagram back. Anyway, I got on here to get ready to do my live and end it up. Let's see if it's gonna act right and let me be great today. I'm gonna see, because it's not wanting to act right and let me be amazing. It says it's streaming to Instagram. Let me see. View it on Let me view on Instagram and see if I'm streaming, because I don't see me. I am not. Well, how about look? No, it's okay. We're gonna fix it. We're gonna fix it and then unfix it. That stream key is not right. So now I'm gonna try to fix it here and see if this works. So anyway, I got on to get everything situated, and my internet is out. And I'm like, you gotta be kidding me right now. Like, I can't even live this life. I don't even understand what's happening. But it says my internet wasn't working. So I got all of that figured out. We got that situated. And as you can see now, I'm trying to get my Instagram to work. And it's like, no, Instagram is not working for you. So anyway, it's always a labor of love when I'm out here in these streets trying to hang out with y'all. And worst case scenario, you all just catch the replay. So 90-day no talk experiment, my book that I wrote 2 years ago, right? Self-published on Amazon. Y'all, I am a little party on the top and Farmer John on the bottom. Hey ma'am, how are you? My garbage disposal stopped working. Came home from church, got mostly undressed, left my earrings in. I don't know why I wasn't thinking about it, but and I'm under there on the I'm under there under the sink trying to get the garbage disposal to fix. It's fixed, praise the Lord. And I'm like, okay, I don't have time for this. I got the canner going because we did not get done with one recipe yesterday. Actually, 2 recipes. Y'all, I was ambitious. The people were not ambitious. It was Shakima. It was all me. Count me. It was me. I think we did 7 jam recipes yesterday, and I still had 2 we did not do. So I am actually finishing up those 2 as I am living here. I've got some in the canner. Waiting to boil. I have kids on that. And then I have Jackson working on another, cutting up some ingredients for me while I am trying to do this so I can finish that, eat supper, and be back at 9. Y'all, we doing all the things over here. Now, listen, this is not for the faint of heart. This is just about Shakima. This is my journey. Please don't try to emulate me, because you will not be able to do it. Right? Okay, very good. So today's live today's excerpt, and I'm going live twice. So those of you who are here, hey ma'am, going live twice. So those of you who are here, remember, I'm live now at 5 and I'm going live again at 9, only because I was unable to go live last night. It was a 5-hour canning, 5.5-hour canning marathon yesterday. And when I got done in that kitchen, my back, woo, it was not a thing. It was not going to let me do nothing. So I tried to sit up. I tried to lean in the chair. I put a pillow under. Nothing would work. I was in the bed. I was tossing and turning. I could not get comfortable. Finally, one of the other ladies that was here, she said, Shakima, I've been on the heating pad for an hour. Put the heat on my back, and I was able to rest, to be comfortable, and I could sleep. So I apologize for not being live tonight. You getting two tonight. You might get two tomorrow. Who's to say, y'all? We out here in these streets doing all the things. Okay. This is called It's What They Said. So I said here in my little description box, if you were to ask people, what do they think about you? So again, the other night, right, we asked everybody to I gotta remember I had loaned it out to somebody and I didn't think I had gotten it back. I was like, Jackson, go look. And fortunately, it was there because the lady that one of my friends that came over, I think she was going to bring me one. She was like, girl, look, I got you. Let me see what I got. And it was late by this time. I was like, I can't. I couldn't even. I hurt so bad. I couldn't even think straight. My brain was scrambled because of the pain. I was like, this ain't for the people. But I put in the little description box. You'll be able to see this if you're following me on YouTube. What do people really say about you? So the other day I had us, for those who would, to text out 10 contacts and just something encouraging. How about you text 10 different contacts and say, what do you think about me? When you hear my name, what comes to mind? So I'm going to ask you to do that for me now. Those of you who are watching, when you hear my name, Shakima Wilson, Shakima One Mom, when you hear One Mom, Two Girls, Two Boys, Ain't All, when you hear Pastor Shakima, what comes to mind? And put it in the comments for me. It's not going to hurt my feelings because these keyboard cowboys be out here. I know how to block people real quick, honestly. All right, day 11, it's what they said. While this entire project has been a blessing and has caused a fair amount of stress, in my most professional, I am the author way, I wrote down my entries on little sticky notes for this book. Listen, here's what I wrote down. I wrote all my little entries were on yellow sticky notes. Who does this? Not real authors. Real authors do not play games with their life. They don't play games with their livelihood. But see, in the back of my mind somewhere, I didn't write this book for fun. I wrote this book to encourage, but this isn't where my bread and butter comes from. Does that make sense? Like, I was not thinking about this being my main source of income. This is out here in the world. Get it if you want, don't get it if you don't want, because I work a job, right? God didn't tell me. I had somebody ask me once. They said, so Shakima, when are you going to quit your job and do social media full time? I said, babe, God did not give me that word. That was not me. That God didn't tell me. See, if God says, okay, we at the end of this and thank you. We're at the end of this and I want you to go ahead and quit your job and I'm going to make sure that you are prosperous social media. I'm quitting tomorrow. But God didn't tell me that. So every day I go to work. Every day that is a work day, I go to work, right? That was not my word. So I didn't look at this as this is my bread and butter, where I was just following all the rules of writing. I was just writing as it came to mind, putting it out here in hopes and prayer that what I shared on paper would help people, right? So that's me. I'm putting everything out on sticky notes. Don't laugh at me. It's how I process things. I'm a sticky note girl. I'm a color coded. All of if you look on my Google Calendar, which you may not have access to, my appointments are red. Jackson is blue. Sister's pink. The dogs are purple. Any money things are green. Like my whole life is in colored sticky notes, some type of a way. So to me, this made sense. So I was telling the ladies in my Titus 2 group that I am what is considered a creative directress. That's what I am. I have self-titled myself creative directress. My mind races, especially when I am in my creative vein or my zone. Yesterday, we had a jam party. Now, if you've never been to a jam party, I hope you get invited to one. And if you were my neighbor, I would have invited you to mine. I invited a ton of people to my jam party. 4 ladies decided to come because it fit in their schedule. So here's how my brain works. We can do 7 jam recipes. Normal people jam one thing. No, not Shakima. We're doing corn relish, spicy tomato jam. We got red onions and pork jam. We got pepper jelly. We got peach jalapeno, mixed berry, habanero. I mean, we just jamming everything. Pineapple, sweet and sour jam. We doing all the things. Because in my mind, it makes sense. Now, here's how I broke it down. I've got one main station. That's my outdoor table. We brought it in the house. On the side, I have my regular indoor kitchen table. So we have corn salsa going there, corn relish, because it's the biggest, most messy task off to the side. Every station has their recipe, measuring cups, measuring spoons, and then all of the additional accoutrements that went with the recipes should have been with those recipes. That's how my brain thinks. Not everybody thinks like that. And so for me, the sticky notes made sense. Okay, I'm done with this set of sticky notes, tear that off. I'm done with this set of sticky notes, tear that off. So yes, creative vein keeps me moving and moving very quickly. Because my brain works like that, I'm able to do all the things. I just told y'all, I'm on here with y'all. In the meantime, the canner is going. I've already fixed the garbage disposal. The kids are cleaning out the refrigerator. I have 2 more recipes that I have to get done and jam into the water bath canner. And all that has to be done before I come back to you at 9 o'clock. And I have to stop at 8 because I got to study. And then I also have, I think it's 4 reels that I have to edit. But for me, that's a creative zone. I'm like, I'm in it. Let's go. And I mark stuff off my list, off the list. Done, 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 done. Whatever I don't get done rolls over to tomorrow's list. That's how I work. The best place for me to write down my ideas are in sticky notes, because I'm a sticky note bullet person. I got to do bullet points. Don't be trying to give me all this information. Can I just get bullet points? Because I do my best work that way. I also work well under pressure. Do I always put myself under pressure? Not if I can help it. However, my brain and my mind and my body moves very quickly. And so a lot of people, especially men, say nobody can keep up with you. Well, who's trying to get you to keep up with me? Just keep up with yourself. You need help, bros? No. What you want me to do? Worry about yourself. Worry about yourself, right? I'm moving, doing my stuff. You do your stuff. A lot of times people have issues with other people because their brains don't think the same and they can't move at the same pace. Nobody called you to move at my pace. Move at yours. The turtle and the hare got to the finish line. They just got there at different times, but they still got there, and you're welcome. Okay. But on this particular day, I'm going, why? Why do I do this to me? Sticky notes work amazingly well until you lose them. When you lose all the sticky notes and you lose almost a third of your book inserts because they're on your sticky notes, because the other 60 you've already taken care of, now you can't figure out where the rest of them are, you're losing your mind. How could I have lost the sticky notes? How could I have been so careless? Carelessness is not my jam. It's not my style. It's not who I am. I am very cautious. I'm very careful. I'm very meticulous. And ask my children, they hate when I get in a zone. When I'm in a zone, they're like, oh, Lord, have mercy. This is going to be crazy. Mom is not thinking straight. I'm thinking very straight, but I'm thinking my way of thinking. But I lost all of them. How could I have not protected the very thing that was supposed to touch so many lives? God gave me this work on day 12. He said, Shakima, you're writing it for one person. And I want you to write it for many people. So this was a collective work for more people than just the one person I had in mind. God had everybody in mind. So don't tell me that God doesn't think about you, because God does think about you. Here's how I know. He's like, Shakima, write this book for a lot of people. And I was like, okay, God, I got you. So I'm writing the book. I've written down all my things on my sticky notes, and now I can't find my sticky notes. Y'all, I was so careful. Put them on the inside of my book, close the book, would never go anywhere without the book. Just everything was all secure on the inside. And here I am, little old meticulous me, who's always moving and doing things, and I have lost the sticky notes. So here's what I do. I just prayed. I said, Lord, you got to help me. And nothing ended up happening. I didn't find them sticky notes. They didn't magically appear. I'm like, you got to be kidding me right now. Because God, every time I pray, you answer. And he didn't answer that one prayer yet, but I'm still hopeful. I said, every time I pray, you answer. Now, what's the problem? I couldn't find those sticky notes, which had grown lovingly with every new entry idea. Every time the Lord would give me something, I would add it to the notes. And so that sticky note stack had grown a lot. Feeling almost hopeless, I did the only thing I could do. I mean, y'all, I was in despair. I was 2/3 of the way through the book, and the rest of my titles were on my sticky notes, and I lost them. I'm like, I can't even understand. And we're tearing up this house. My kids are helping me. I'm helping myself, trying to find everything, and nothing. So here's what I did. I reached out to some of my friends that I knew would help me recover so the work could continue. It's a hard reality, but humbling to understand that God's work is not your work. You are simply the vehicle by which his work gets done. Remember that. It is a work of the Lord, whatever assignment he gives you. You're just the person he's assigned the work to. It's still his work. We're just the hands and we're the feet. We're the people who run. We're the people who do. We're the people who connect. We're the people who, for lack of a better word, we're the workhorses. We do all the work. I met a girl one time. Her name was Hillary, and Hillary and I were working on a team together, and we were putting on a big conference for some students. It was a middle school career conference we were putting on for some kids, and I would just work. She looked at me one day. She said, "Shakima, you are a workhorse." She was like, "Wow." I mean, I was an executive assistant for 11 years. I was the first one in the office, the last one from the office. I don't need no help in the office. Please make your way out of the office. I got this. I don't know if I told y'all the story when I was an executive assistant. We had these packets to put together before we would go to the Assembly of Delegates the next night. And it was everybody, every president's report, all the treasurer's report, all the stuff that just had to be done. And so these people, it was my first year being assistant. Executive assistant. I was the assistant to the executive director of the association, big association. And so it was the first year that I was taking over this job. And this is how they would do it. They would put all the reports around, and then everybody would go around the table and they would collect all their papers, and then they would start staple them, and they would just talk and all this stuff. I go into this room and I am knee deep in just about to I'm getting separated from my husband. And I knew life was it was crazy. And they were talking, and they were going around the table. And I just remember, y'all, you better be so glad you didn't know me back then. Y'all would not like me. Y'all would be following me. I just stopped in the middle of the room and I said, if you all would leave this room, I promise you I'll have all of your reports done. They'll be stapled and collated, and they'll be exactly where you need them to be when you need them to be there. And everybody goes, the silence. And they all just get their little bags, and they all go out and close the door quietly. And I break down into a puddle of tears. I am just a mess. I'm a mess. I just had a very charged exchange with my ex-husband that day as I was coming to this place. It was very intense. It was the most intense we had ever. And I just didn't know how to navigate that space and all the noise, all the people, all the things. I just had to get them out. When they left, I broke down in tears. I probably cried for the next 20 minutes. I got myself together, wiped my face, and I went into work mode. When they came into the office the next morning, all of their little packets were stapled. They were on the table, collated for everybody, just ready to go to wherever else. And can I tell you this? They never came in that office again to put their little papers in the thing. Never again. For the next 10 years, they did not do it. They just let me do all the things. And I apologize for how I was just having a moment, and they understood. They were like, Shakima, we didn't know what was wrong with you. We wanted to help. I don't need any help. I'm good. But we all had a very good relationship for the next 11 years. I was the secretary again for the next 11 years, which was a beautiful experience for me. It's what I needed to heal. I needed to work. And so I work. When I am down, when I am hurting, when I am not at my best, I work. And that makes me better. But I was doing the same thing here for this assignment, because when the focus was shifted from one person to many people, which is what the Lord said to me, I had to make sure that I was doing him justice. Who am I to have an assignment from the Lord and just do it half behind, right? You can't do it half behind. You got to do it the whole way. You got to give it your best effort. You got to really make sure that people see Jesus, not you. You got to see the Lord in this. Yes, I'm the presenter. Yes, I'm the person giving the presentation, but this is a work of the Lord. This has nothing to do with me. Who you see now, one of the words on here is evolved. Who you see now is a person that has allowed and still allowing the Lord to mature them. This is the evolved version of who I used to be back then. Okay, moving on. My friends were gracious to send me messages in response to my question. My plan was to take their responses and craft new entries for the ones I had lost, because I had lost all my stuff, y'all. I'm telling you right now. Here are their responses to a simple question. If you had to describe me, so if you're going to do this for your friends and your family, your contacts, whoever, and not just the people that you think like you, like pick some people that you would not normally pick. If you had to describe me in one word or phrase, what would you say? Here's some of the things that came back: triumphant, serving, humble, giving, dynamite. That was Mr. Ashley. You like, this girl is crazy. She over here, she over there, she everywhere. Faithful, thoughtful, kind, caring, sincere, extremely bright, conscious, organized, loving person, great mother, generous, sacrifice for others. Now I asked for one word. She gave me all the words. Praise the Lord. And then one other friend, she put fierce and courageous. So here I am going to take all these words now and craft all of my new entries, my last 30 entries, because these are the last 30 and I'll be done with this book. I'd already written 60. I got 30 more to go. Okay, I got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20. I got at least 20 entries right here. These words were supposed to give me my entry ideas to replace the ones I had lovingly penned but also lost. What happened was totally different, though. Those were the words that were supposed to give me my new entries, but something else happened. See, God always has a plan for us. He always has a different, if we allow him to, we don't see our plans. We begin to see his plans for us, right? What happened was I could see myself through the eyes of my friends. All of the words above had never crossed my mind to describe me. I would have never described me as triumphant. It just wasn't a word that fit my life, my life description, my self description, or nothing. I'd never think about that. I am an overcomer. We overcome by the blood of the Lamb and the word of our testimony. I have overcome lots of things that have happened to me in my life, but I see overcomer. Somebody else sees it as triumphant. I would have never said that about me. Dynamite? Oh my goodness. Because for me, that means explosion, explosive. Like, what is your personality? Like, you're not quiet and you're not calm. And I've been praying for the Lord to gentle my spirit this whole time. And here's a person who sees me as dynamite, not to the negative point, but dynamite, like this girl gets stuff done. Like when Shakima comes into the room, I'm a whirlwind at times. When I come into a room, things are going to happen very quickly. And if you don't want things to happen quickly, then you need to exit stage left, because I don't have time to coddle. I don't have time to hold your hand. I have a list. I have things, not to say that I step over people. I think about that. And when I have meetings, I try to make sure everybody knows exactly what's going on. But when I say hands in, 1, 2, 3, break, let's go. We got stuff. And I don't want to keep you longer than you're willing to volunteer your time. I want to give you a clear and concise program of what it is we're doing. So you'll say, hey, Shakima's real organized. I want to work with her again. True story. This happened. My sister was dating a gentleman, and they were having some type of a family reunion, something, or get together. I don't know, backyard barbecue situation. It was something. And they asked her to help with the food. And so they had set up the tables and they had the serving stuff and all this stuff. And she said to me when she came back, she was like, Shakima, this was a little Jimmy rig. She said, she's like, Shakima, don't do it like that. She always put her stuff. Like if you have here's a free tip for you. You're welcome. So if you have a table set and you don't have anywhere to hold your overflow, cups, plates, napkins, all that. If you have cloths over your table, if you lift up the cloth, underneath there is just empty space. Nothing is there. Put all your overflow there. You may have to put, something so it's not directly on the floor. You may have to put a little smaller table underneath or whatever. But when you need to restock your stuff, you don't have to go anywhere. You don't have to move you don't have to be searching. Everything is under your table. She's like, Shakima, don't do it like this. So I'm very efficient in the way that I do things, but I would have never given myself any of these things. To call myself serving just is not even a thought. Serving is what I do. It's not who I am. But is it? Right? There are things that we are and things that we do. I'm a human being, not a human doing, but the human being that I am is a serving to other people. And somebody else could recognize where I just saw I serve because that's what Jesus would have done. So I was being a human doing in my estimation of the word, and they were seeing it as a part of my natural personality. She's thoughtful. Really? Am I? I had the jam party yesterday. I invite all kinds of people to come to my house. My house is open. You're always welcome. So I had a friend, she was unable to come. She put in all capital letters, but thank you. It's so nice to feel invited, because not everybody gets invited. Not everybody is you want to be around them. But I try to pick the people that Jesus would have picked. People get upset because he hung out with the prostitutes and the drunks, but who else want to hang out with them and don't want something from them? I don't want anything from you. I just want to hang out with you because, hey, you're worth hanging out with. What about that? So all of those words, fierce, courageous, a girl that was scared of her shadow at times, but I have evolved past my fear because the perfect love of God has casted out my fear. I am not afraid of most things. And the things that I am afraid of, the Lord will fight my battle, or that 9mm will. I mean, it's whatever. It's what it is. Don't play with it. I don't suggest you come over here. I posted a video about my savings challenge, and somebody posted on there, better not let me catch you walking. If you do, sir, what's going to happen? Tell me, please. Because people who have money don't traditionally walk anywhere. Where you walking to? Get off my lawn. Okay. Again, this is what my friends thought about me. These were not the thoughts that I had about me. But God clearly tells us, my ways are not your ways, my thoughts are not your thoughts. I never would have thought this about me, but this is really what God thinks. And he just had my friends to tell me. Now, I haven't always been some of these things, or maybe I have, but maybe not. But I have evolved. God has healed me enough that I am able to now see myself through somebody else's eyes. And I'm thankful that the Lord would allow me to see it. Do I go around and say, hey, I'm Shakima, your humble servant? No, I don't. I just serve. And I'm very thankful to do it. All of these words above have never crossed my mind to describe myself. To me, I'm just me. This is just me. It's just my personality. And most people will say, well, she's not like that all the time. I am like this all the time. This is Shakima all the time. If you see me somewhere and you speak, I'm going to speak. If you see, oh my God. Lord have mercy. I was in Walmart one day, y'all. It be a lot outside sometimes. I was in Walmart one day, and this little old man, God knows, almost ran his cart into the vegetable. He was like, "You are one of the most beautiful women I've ever seen." I was like, "Well, thank you so much. Okay, bye." As I roll my little cart by, I'm gonna speak. I am just as kind. If you have an issue and I can help, I'll help. If it's financial and the Lord tells me to give, I'm going to give. If it's having people in my home that nobody wants in their home, I'm going to do that too. So these are true. It's just I never would have thought about it. It's just me. I do exactly what I do because it's part of my inner self. It's my inner being. But to have others see you that way changes who you are, because you always want them to see you that way when they tell you this is who you are. I wonder if others have thought about what their friends think of them. Have you? I mean, has it ever crossed your mind to whip out your phone and text your entire contact list and ask them what's one thing or one phrase that describes you? And you got to have tough skin, because some people won't think you are great things. And so you talk too much. You nosy. You just always in everybody's business. And you got to take the truth for what it is. If that's you, you say, Lord, help me change. I don't want to be like this anymore. There were times when gossip was a thing. I'm here for everybody's business. And then the Lord was like, no, ma'am, Shakima, that's not how we gonna roll. And I was like, you know what, Jesus, praise the Lord. Thank you for that correction. I don't have time. Keep your business to yourself, because it's really not my business. Hey, y'all. It's eye-opening to see. Here, think about it like this. It's eye-opening to see or hear what others think of you. And this has nothing to do, because I know I was asking somebody one time before what they thought of me. It was like, oh, you fishing for compliments. No, I'm not. It's not about fishing for compliments. What it is about is knowing or understanding how people perceive you, because you may need to make some tweaks in your personality. You may need to, if you see me as mean and hateful, then I might need to change that. And the only person who can tell me that is you. Now, don't tell me that if we have beef. If it's a beef situation, I'm not listening to you anyway, because you just don't like me, but whatever. I have very few people that just don't like me. I just don't have that issue. Most people like me, and I'm okay with that. I'm really okay with the people who don't. I'm not for everybody. If you need, I'm not everybody's cup of tea, but if you need a strong cup of coffee, I'm your girl. I don't drink tea. I'm a coffee drinker, but that's my portion. Not everyone, not because you want to know for personal reasons, but to determine if you need to add, if you are adequately representing Jesus. That's why you need to know those things. Hear me out. Everything about you should show Jesus to everybody around you. Everything about you should present Jesus to everybody around you. And if it doesn't, you need to change. He doesn't need to change. He doesn't bend to your whims. You bend to his. So Jesus explained, I tell you the truth. This is John 5:19 in the New Living Translation. I tell you the truth. The Son can do nothing by himself. The Son, Shekima, who is a son, a child of God, can do nothing by herself. He does only what he sees the Father doing. What the Father does, the Son also does. So here's the thing. What are you doing? And is it for edification of self, or is it for edification of your Father who is in heaven? That's why you want to know what people think. That's why you need to know. And not everybody is going to tell you, and not everybody is going to be truthful. And some people are just going to ignore your text altogether. So text more than 10 just so you can get a few back. What people think of you tells you if you've done what the Father does as the Son has done. Jesus served. Jesus was humble. Jesus gave. Jesus was faithful. He was thoughtful. He was kind. He was caring. He was sincere. He was extremely bright. He was teaching in the temple at 12. They were so amazed at his teaching at 12. When the parents come back to get him, they're like, where you been? We've been looking for you for 3 days. We had to walk all the way back here to get you. He's like, well, what you mean looking for me? Didn't you know I would be about my Father's business? At 12, he was teaching that. And they were like, oh my God, who is this little kid? Where he come from? Wow. So when you get those words back, look to see if they are the same characteristics of Jesus. And if they aren't, again, you need to change. If you're going to claim to be his child, if you are Christ's one, a disciple of his. If not, be the way you are. But your inward transformation becomes your outward presentation. You only see the evolution of a woman because I have evolved. I have allowed myself to sit at the foot of Jesus for him to tell me what is good and what's not, for him to give me several rebukes, several spanks on the bottom, and I got my life together. I'm still getting it together every single day. I've not arrived, but I'm better off than when I started. And everybody should strive for that. Are you faithful? Jesus is faithful. Are you thoughtful and kind towards other people? Jesus was thoughtful and kind towards other people. Are you a great mother and father as he is? He is a good father. If you are not, and your children cannot attest that you are a good mother or father, then you need to change. There's a scripture in there that says, do not do certain things. And if you do those things, you probably need to not do them. It tells the kids to honor their father and mother, but it also says don't make your children be angry. Don't anger your kids. It's in there. Are you fierce and courageous defending your faith, or do you shrink back? He never walked away from defending his faith, ever. He died for his so that we wouldn't have to die for it. We can freely have it. He took on the burden. He bore the stripes and the wounds and the heels, and was allowed them to put him on the cross so we wouldn't do it. So if he went through all of that, is it any less of a, is it any less? Should not defend my faith is what I'm trying to say. I should, and I should be doing it all the time, every time. Now, I believe that there are moments where you have to craft what you have to say, Because I'm not going out here arguing nobody about being a Christian or not. You be what you want to be. The Bible says, do not argue with a fool because they don't know they foolish. Okay, great, very good. But I'm going to go out here and tell you what I think about the Lord and how God has helped me. God has always been there for me, and I'm not going to tell you anything different. If you hear me say anything different, you might want to correct me. Like, Shakima, I don't know. Last time you said blah, blah, blah. Are you generous? Giving it all away as Jesus gave it all away. Oh, y'all tight-fisted. No, ma'am, we not finna. You put your cash app up there if you want to. We ain't finna put up nothing. Okay, fine. You don't have to. It ain't about me. This about you and the Lord. But my word says, given it shall be given unto you, good measure, pressed down, shaken together, and running over, shall he cause men to give unto your bosom. And can I tell you that there have been a lot of people that have given unto my bosom? I am a recipient of giving. Sacrificially, giving when it didn't make sense to give, giving the last that I had, and I'll do it again. One of the things that I think about when finding a husband, so babe, if you're listening to this, make sure you lean in. A man cannot, there are two things he cannot do. Well, there's one thing he can't do and one thing he has to do. One thing he cannot do, he cannot question my giving. You cannot question my giving. I didn't say he couldn't question my spending. That's different. You can't question my giving. You have to know, he has to know that I hear from the Lord. The only question I need when I tell him to give a certain amount is, would you like that to be Cash App, Venmo, Zelle, or you want to write a check? You got cash? That's the only question, because the Bible is clear. Given it shall be given unto you, good measure, pressed down, shaken together, and running over shall he cause men. Baby, when we give this because God told us to do it, he's going to cause men to give back to us. So please don't have no questions. Just go ahead and write a check. And the other thing is, if the Lord tell me to get up at 4 a.m. to pray, he need to be nudging me at 3:59 saying, did you hear the Lord say, get up? Come on now. Come on, Jesus. But are you giving? Are you generous? Do people, when my people came to the jam party, the only thing they had to bring were their jars. I had everything else ready for them. All the ingredients, as much as it cost me, didn't matter. I paid for it. The other night, somebody did give a cash app for to go towards that. It was what it was. And we did all the things. Why should I have a party and then ask everybody to bring something? It's my party. And they got to take stuff away. Praise the Lord. Maybe not. These are my words, of course. But aren't you curious as to what your words would be if you were asked to ask your friends? Shouldn't they form the entries in the book of your life? See, this is my book, right? Remember, I wrote this book. But there's your story that people are reading every single day when they look at you, when they hear you talk, when they sit with you, when you go out to lunch or whatever the case is. They're listening to you every single day. Are you representing well? And if you're not, why not? Once I wrote all the words down, contemplated my life, and thanked the Lord for him giving me more entries to work with for the book, I was satisfied the work would go on. In one last-ditch effort, I flipped my notebook over, and what did I find? What did I find, y'all? The sticky notes. Now, y'all, I had torn that paper all to pieces. I done flipped it, slinged it, shook it out. I'm like, what the devil is going on? I mean, we looked here, there, and everywhere. And as soon as those words came through, as soon as the revelation that God wanted me to see in those words came through, I opened up the book one last time, and there were the sticky notes. They were not there before. Not there. All there, just like they had been in the first place. I know with all certainty that I had flipped that book over, looking for them sticky notes, couldn't find them. But alas, there was the list. I wondered over and over if there was a lesson for me to learn in the temporary loss. And shortly after, I realized that there is always a lesson in everything that happens in my life. Don't look at a loss and say, gosh, I guess this was a loss. Ask the Lord, what was the lesson I was supposed to learn, so that when you come to that test again, you won't fail. Most of us fail the test when it comes to losing stuff. We mad, we angry, we bitter, we don't know how to recover, we don't have anything. Can I tell you, when I put them people out and I told them this stuff would be ready, they took me at my word. Now, if I had failed to have it ready, they wouldn't have had me secretary for the next 10 years. But by the time I was leaving, and it hurt my heart to leave the board, but I had to leave. My mom was sick. They said, Shakima, you are just, I mean, those people would sing my praises because you didn't have to ask me for something. It was anticipated. What are you? I got you. Yep, I got you. Shakima, yep, don't worry. I got it. I got it. And I became so valuable that people wanted to be around me. Are you valuable? That people want to be around you. See, again, this is a story. What's your story? Are you never availed? We have a situation that's happening in our church with a person who is affiliated, and they have been sick. And so pastor asked, and he said, well, some of you might have to go. And he looked over and he said, Shakima, you might have to go. And then there's a couple other speakers who might go as well. And I texted him and I said, listen, he said, there's no pay. You go on your own. This is a service. This is love. And it's not up the street. You have to travel a little bit. And I texted him the next day and I said, thank you for considering me. I said, I am more than happy to go and serve free of charge. I said, because I said, my situation is a little bit different. I don't have a man. I don't have a husband or a wife to, you know what I'm saying, to figure out. I said, I don't have small children either. So I can go anywhere you need me to go. Just tell me. I got car, will travel. And when I do go places and I get a love offering to speak, I put that money in my ministry account for travel. So that's what it's there for. Because the Lord had already prepped me years ago for this time right now. So there's always a lesson. I needed a reminder of who I was, not to myself, but to others, people who knew me or those people in my personal life. Sometimes you need a reminder of who people think you are. There are days that I question my own call and my own life's work, and I need that assurance from the Lord himself. It was a necessary and after time most welcome. I'm thankful for his gentle reminder daily and our loving relationship that we have with each other. I pray for everyone to have such a relationship with him. I pray that everybody has a relationship with the Lord, so much so that if you need to know who you are, if you are unsure, that he has a few rams in the bush that can send you a message that says, this is who I see you as, and this is what other people see you as. When my daughter got married, and I'm done. When my daughter got married, we were in California. What's my time? Because Lord Jesus. Okay, I got to go. When my daughter got married, we were in California, and I had already had my outfit. I had 2 outfits picked. And my daughter's like, well, if I get to choose, this is the one I want. So I wore the outfit she wanted. I didn't wear the outfit I had planned because I was a little bit unsure about the shoulder thing. You know, I'm not here for all of it, but whatever. She wanted that. And I put on the jewelry and all the things. They called the mother of the bride. So here I am. I'm walking out. And as soon as I hit the corner, because you couldn't see me, we were hidden. And just the way the walkway was, you couldn't see me until I hit the corner. I hit the corner and somebody said, okay, Queen. That's what they saw me as. If at the wedding at any time my behavior had been different, they might have thought something different about me. But I am a queen. I am royalty always because I am in the house of the Lord. I am his child. I'm a peculiar person. I am from a royal priesthood, a chosen people. He chose me. Soon as I hit the corner, the first person in the seat before I even got to the aisle, okay, Queen. Head up. I wasn't necessarily too confident with the shoulder out, but my head was up. My eyes were focused, and I was walking down that aisle to represent my daughter and her new husband and our family. I was walking down to represent our family. So what do people think of you, see in you? What do they call you in your face and behind your back? I'm sure some different things that people want to say behind my back. I'd much rather you say it to my face so I could work on it. That's just me. Anywho, before we go, here's what I want to ask you. Do you know him? Do you know the Lord in this way? Are y'all intimate with each other? Have you spent one night with the King and become his favored? So now you have the crown on your head. Do you have a dialogue with him, or is it always monologue? Are you always talking at him, or can you be quiet long enough for him to talk to you? These are the things that you have to determine, not me. I don't get to determine that. You do. I hope the answer is yes. I pray you know him. I pray you know the Lord cares for you just as he cares for me, because he does. It's always about his children. He can be in every place all the time and all things to all the people. Don't get confused and worrying about, well, he's over there with Shakima. He don't have time for me. God is the all-knowing, all-seeing. He is everywhere. Don't treat him common, because he don't treat you common. Anywho, you guys, there it is. Thank you so much for joining me. Again, be back at 9. We're going to day 10, pay it forward. We're talking about the Saturday Serve Project. Pay it forward. All right. Like the video. Share if you feel like it's shareable. Follow us on YouTube. We will see you guys in the next one. Bye now. Thank y'all for joining me.